Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. Before I get into today's episode, I want to take a moment to talk about the Situational Awareness Matters Online Academy. In case you missed it, last week's episode 132 previewed the Academy. But here, real quick, let me tell you a little bit about it. The Academy has 13 courses and covers situational awareness and high-risk decision-making from A to Z. I know there are many departments out there that cannot, for one reason or another, host a live SA Matters tour stop event. The Academy will make it really affordable for every department and every member to get this valuable, life-saving content taught by me. With 2 different levels to choose from, you're able to select your price and design an academy that fits your department's budget and training needs. The premium enrollment even offers a live teleseminar conducted by me each month for coaching and answering student questions. While the Academy does not officially launch until January, I'm offering for a limited time an amazing early enrollment special where you can get the premium enrollment, that's the one that includes the live access to me, for the price of the basic enrollment. If you're interested in learning more about the Academy, including what is included in the 13 courses and more, just visit the SA Matters website and click on the green box, the green one, on the right side of the home page that says Online Academy. It's really that simple now to bring this powerful training in-house for your members. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Birmingham Fire Department Assistant Chief Buddy Wilkes, and you are listening to SA Matters Radio Show with Dr. Rich Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hello, and welcome to episode 133 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from Dayton, Ohio, where I'm in town to deliver 2 programs for the Miami Valley Risk Management Association. I'm doing one program in Piqua, Ohio tomorrow, and another the day after in Centerville, Ohio. One of the questions I get asked a lot by readers and listeners is, when are you coming to my area? I want to attend a program. Or, where are you going to be next? It's really easy to find this out. There's a link to my schedule on the homepage of the SA Matters website. It's the blue box on the right side labeled Upcoming Events Schedule. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters tour stop in 2017 for your department or association, just contact me through the SA Matters website. Click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the homepage and we'll get something set up for you. Don't wait, I'm actively booking the 2017 programs now. If you want to save some money, here's a tip on how you can host a program at a reduced cost. I schedule many what I call companion programs. These are programs on adjoining days to other programs. So if you see I'm delivering a program, say a few hours from your department, and you think you might want to tag along as a companion, contact me. You can save as much as 20% off the program cost by being a companion to an existing program. I do roughly 30 of these companion programs each year, and no one ever complains about saving money on the travel cost. That's what I call a win-win. Before I get into today's feature segment, I want to take a moment to discuss the Company Officer Development Institute program that I created back in 2009. I mentioned this a few episodes ago, and I got a lot of interest on it, so I thought I'd make a mention of it again. The Company Officer Development Institute is a 5-day, no PowerPoint, no book, no PowerPoint, no book, in case you missed that, program developed to help company officers with the skills needed to be successful at the company level. My co-facilitator from Indianapolis Fire Department, Lieutenant Patrick Harper, and myself share best practices for leadership, problem-solving, conflict resolution, teamwork, motivation, generational leadership, discipline, coaching for performance improvement, and more. The program is truly customized to the issues being faced by those who are in the program that week. That's one reason why we don't use PowerPoint. We never know exactly what content the class is going to cover until we get started. And the second reason we don't use PowerPoint is, well, frankly, seriously, who wants to sit and listen to PowerPoint presentations for a week? There's a better way to teach using adult-facilitated learning techniques. It's always amusing to me when we start the program on Monday and I announce there's going to be no PowerPoint for the week. The look of confusion, bewilderment, and sometimes terror that I see is predictable. And then by Friday, the comments are often how fast the week went by. And they say, it seems like we just got started. Yes, when adults are engaged in the process of learning and not just being lectured to, learning can be fun, and it sticks. And that's important. When I'm talking to chief officers about why they might want to host this program, I explain it this way. We're going to teach the company officers of your department the skills they need to keep problems out of your office. How to prevent and resolve problems at their level, the company level, and not let the problems get to the chief's office. In August, we completed the 29th offering of the week-long version of the Company Officer Development Institute. In December, I'll be doing the 30th. We have 6 more proposals already out for Company Officer Development Institute in 2017. 6 proposed. We do offer a shorter version for departments that can't do the full week. We also have weekend versions for volunteer departments. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, have your chief or training officer visit the SA Matters website, click the Contact Us link, send me an email, and we'll discuss it and get it worked out. It's really that easy. Okay, in today's feature segment, I'm going to talk about the devil's advocate and how this person can help when the incident commander may be suffering from a flawed perception of reality. All right, I'm going to jump right into the feature segment now, but when I'm done, stick around because I'm going to announce where the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events are. All right, let's jump into our feature segment, The Devil's Advocate. In the business world, it's not uncommon for executives to appoint someone on the senior staff to serve as the devil's advocate when considering a major strategic decision. The role of the devil's advocate is to look at the strategy from a critical perspective and to raise objections about flaws in the strategy before or during implementation. Basically, the devil's advocate helps to prevent the execution of a bad decision and helps make course corrections once bad decisions are made. The origins of the devil's advocate. In common parlance, the devil's advocate is someone who, given a certain argument, takes a position they do not necessarily agree with, or simply an alternative position from the accepted norm. This is done for the sake of debate and to explore the issue further. In taking this position, the individual takes on the devil's advocate role and seeks to engage others in an argumentative discussion process. The purpose of such a process is typically to test the quality of the original argument and identify weaknesses in its structure, and to use such information to either improve or abandon the original opposing position. It can also refer to someone who takes a stance that is seen as unpopular or unconventional, but is actually another way of arguing a much more conventional stance. The background of this word comes from an official position within the Catholic Church, in which a canon lawyer called the devil's advocate, also known as the promoter of faith, argues against the canonization or sainthood of a candidate in order to uncover any character flaws or misrepresentation of evidence favoring the canonization. On an emergency scene, let's talk about the devil's advocate role to the fire ground and see how this might improve situational awareness. A commander can, for better or worse, get so emotionally invested in the strategy that it can become quite literally impossible to see the flaws of their decision-making. All you need to do is spend some time reading line-of-duty death reports or watching videos of degrading incident conditions, and you'll often see that there was time to change the strategy, yet no change was made. The devil's advocate is a person with a specific assignment to evaluate command decision-making and provide feedback about why the commander should consider a different course of action or change a course of action. In order for the devil's advocate to be effective, the commander must have mental maturity and a balanced ego and be inspired to keep firefighters safe more than saving property or unsavable lives. The devil's advocate must not be afraid to speak up. An advocate for safety. The devil's advocate is an advocate for strategies that improve responder safety. The devil's advocate is not an advocate for strategies to save property at the risk of responder safety. It is critical that the devil's advocate understand that there are risks to be assumed at every emergency scene and to balance those risks against the potential rewards. To always be asking, is the benefit worth the risk? It is also the role of the devil's advocate to ensure that the decisions of command are not creating risk. There's a big difference between assumed risk and created risk. The former, assumed risk, is inherent with all work that responders do. The latter, the created risk, is perpetuated by a host of influences, including but not limited to ego, bravado, fear, and other things. Fear especially can grip responders and contribute to poor decision-making. It's not, however, the fear of injury and death that I speak of. It's the fear of being seen as a failure, the fear of being criticized and ridiculed, the fear of being embarrassed if the incident does not end with the outcomes that we all train for, and that is saved lives and saved property. How to advocate. For most, playing the role of the devil's advocate is not an intuitive skill. Yes, I am aware that there are out there in the world individuals who have turned devil's advocacy into an art form. Those people are, for the most part, eternally pessimistic, and in general would not serve you well at an incident scene in the role of the devil's advocate. This is because you're at risk of tuning out the perpetual devil's advocate, thinking to yourself, oh, that's just old crotchety Joe being his usual pessimistic self, and dismissing their advocacy in part or in total. Nor do you want a safety zealot to serve as your devil's advocate. There are out there in some organizations individuals who just are over the top when it comes to safety. Now, for those who know me, you know that I'm a very strong proponent for first responder safety. Very strong. But it is impossible to engineer or advocate every conceivable element of risk out of the work that we do. For example, a safety zealot might advocate for no interior fire as a life in imminent danger. I would not want this person as my devil's advocate because so long as conditions are right to do so, I will send crews inside burning structures. I would find this person distracting because their risk tolerance is so low. Finding a balance of risk and reward is essential. The devil's advocate should receive training on how to advocate and how to assertively communicate concerns without being confrontational. I'll refer you to an article on the website that I've written called the 5-Step Assertive Statement Process. Enter the term in the search box on the right side of the homepage. It'll direct you to the article, 5-Step Assertive Statement Process. All personnel should be trained on how to deliver and accept feedback without concerns on an incident scene. On an emergency scene, it's a best practice to have someone advocating for the safety of personnel. The safety officer can fill the role of the devil's advocate, or it can be assigned to someone else. I was recently delivering a situational awareness program to a department that has the benefit of 2 battalion chiefs responding to structure fires. They informed me that when the 2nd battalion chief arrives, this person receives a briefing and then assumes a role as a safety officer. Having the second set of eyes and ears on the incident scene is a great resource for sure. I suggested that prior to engaging the second officer in the safety officer's role, that the commander first assign that second officer to play the role of the devil's advocate. Essentially to tell them, take a walk around this incident and tell me why we should not be doing what we are doing. This way the second officer is not invested in the first officer's plan. The second officer remains uncommitted and gives the incident scene an independent review before jumping on board the commander's bandwagon. If the devil's advocate affirms the strategy and the decision-making seems appropriate for the condition, the commander can move ahead with confidence, and the devil's advocate then gets a formal assignment in the hierarchy of the incident. If the devil's advocate raises concerns, the commander and devil advocate confer about what adjustments should be made before the devil's advocate assumes a more formal role in the commander's incident hierarchy. This process should be developed, implemented, and trained on before it is ever used at an incident scene. That way, the devil's advocate knows the assignment coming in and fully understands how to execute those duties. The commander, in turn, fully expects that the devil's advocate may come back to the commander with recommendations for changing strategy or will be raising concerns about safety for the frontline crews. If you've experienced or witnessed a near-miss event and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, please contact me by visiting the samatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us link on the top of the homepage. Think about it for a moment. The lessons learned from your near-miss event could save the life of another first responder. They are among the most popular podcast episodes here on SA Matters Radio. If you want to share your experience, contact me. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the departments and organizations that have hosted some of the recent Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events. I do this to show my appreciation to those organizations who put forth the effort and the time and the funding for great training experiences for their members and for others in their region. Your efforts to bring this valuable and powerful training on situational awareness and high-risk, high-consequence decision-making to your members and others is greatly appreciated. Recent tour stops included the Montana Association of Public Safety Communications Officials in Great Falls, Montana, Firehouse Expo in Nashville, Tennessee, the North Dakota Hazmat Conference in Bismarck, North Dakota, and where I am now in Dayton, Ohio for the Miami Valley Risk Management Association. If you want to attend an upcoming SA Matters tour stop, here's where I'll be. On November 8th, which I think will be the day this podcast airs, if I'm right, I'll be in Davenport, Iowa, doing a program for the Davenport Fire Department. On November 13th, for the International Association of Fire Chiefs Volunteer and Combination Officers section, I'll be at their Symposium in the Sun, doing a program about climbing down the ladder of success, preparing yourself for when you leave the fire service. A little bit off the topic of situational awareness, but nonetheless one I'm very passionate about. November 17th, for the International Association of Fire Chiefs, I'll be doing an officer development program in Durham, North Carolina. 2 topics being delivered on November 17th. November 30 to December 4, I'll be at the Scott Township Fire Department in Evansville, Indiana, delivering a 5-day Company Officer Development Institute. This one is kind of unique. It runs in the evenings, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday evenings, and then during the day on Saturday and Sunday. A creative design for a combination department. Thank you so much for all the program hosts, and here's hoping there'll be a tour stop near you and we'll get a chance to meet up. The last time I was delivering situational awareness programs in southwest Minnesota, I stopped by and visited the sponsor of this podcast, Midwest Fire. Midwest makes all poly fire apparatus bodies, and it's changing the industry. You seriously need to check them out. MidwestFire.com. These all poly bodies are amazing. I saw a piece of this poly that was shot with a .38 caliber revolver, and the bullet basically bounced off. It didn't even penetrate the poly. Anyhow, while I was there, I got a chance to sit down and talk to some of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here I got a chance to ask account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the various types of apparatus that they build. Let's listen in. Okay, Dalton, tankers and tanker pumpers. That seems to be the game for Midwest Fire. I see, even as I'm here at the factory, I see a number of tankers and tanker pumpers. But do you build anything else? Are you basically just a 2-product company, or do you have other types of trucks that you're building for customers?
We do in fact build a lot of tankers and tanker pumpers. They are our bread and butter. We love building them, and they're a great product for us. But in fact, we do not only build tankers and tanker pumpers. We try and fill the whole department. So if anyone needs to replace their fleet, we can do it. We do a lot of roll pumpers. We're starting to do more and more of those. We don't really trend towards more of the major metropolitan cities with pumpers. We leave that up to the guys that have been doing it for a long time. We take care of our customer base, which are volunteer firefighters, rural firefighters, and we provide them with the rural pumpers. We also do quick attacks. We do a lot of rescue quick attacks, mini pumpers, not necessarily the PTO mini pumpers, but we do portable pumps on these things. So essentially it's a lot of rescue tools. It's on an F550. It's got a rescue-style body, but we call them quick attacks. And then finally we do brush trucks. And brush trucks we love doing these because these things are one of the coolest trucks and coolest firefighting pieces of equipment on the face of this earth. We've been doing a lot of those. We've started doing brush trucks around 2.5 years ago, and we have been building roughly 10 to 15 a year, and we're increasing that by the day. It's a really cool thing, and you'll be seeing a lot more Midwest Fire brush trucks in the future.
So if somebody wanted to see what these trucks look like, are there pictures on the website or a gallery, or is there someplace they can go to put their eyeballs on what we're talking about here?
Yeah, definitely. We have many areas where you can see the pictures. We have a Twitter account. We do a lot of delivery pictures and just pictures in general on our Facebook. That's a huge place for people to go see us. But the biggest part is our website. We do have a deliveries tab, and you can see all recent deliveries on our website from the day they were delivered all the way back to how many ever years ago.
Yeah, nice. So if you want to learn more about the types of apparatus that Midwest Fire is building, tankers, tanker pumpers, quick attack pumpers, brush trucks, rural apparatus, visit them at MidwestFire.com and see how they can help you. Thank you, Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison, and all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving first responder safety. I sincerely appreciate your support of my mission. If you're interested in seeing all the locations of the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events, head over to the SA Matters website, click on that blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Event Schedule. The schedule is always changing, so check back often. If you want to give me a suggestion about how to improve this show, just shoot me an email by clicking on the Contact Us link on the SA Matters website. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red box. And it says free membership. If you're already a subscriber, please consider contacting someone you know that you think might benefit from the information I'm sharing here. Thank you. The reviews and comments I get really do inspire me to work harder for you. If you're a podcaster, you already know that podcasting is a labor of love. A lot of time and effort goes into producing, recording, and editing a show and lining up the guests. And your feedback lets me know that you appreciate that effort. If you want to get connected with me on social media, you can follow at Rich Gasaway or at SA Matters on Twitter. If you follow them both, you're going to get all the tweets twice, so just consider following one or the other. The SA Matters Twitter community is approaching 17,000 followers of our mission. So thanks for everybody coming along on Twitter. You can also find me on LinkedIn by searching Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn. Remember to swing by and check out the new online academy by clicking the green button on the right side of the home page labeled Online Academy. Well, that's it. Episode 133 is complete. Thank you to our podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all of our live event hosts. Thank you to all of our online academy students. And thank you, our listeners, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.